season.
Greener, faster, stronger. Definitely.
Fantastic.
Well, I think a lot of people joined, so we can start the call now. Just like to give a thank you to Nemarius and XRdoge TV for recording these chats every week. It means a lot to us, so that anybody that misses the call can listen back on it. And it's also there for historical record as well. And so I'm sure if you guys are aware that today we had a really special announcement that Anndy Lian has came out publicly as an investor in XRdoge, and we're really excited about that. Because he's I guess the first like mainstream sort of institutional investor to be a part of the project, and that's a really good thing for us because moving forward, if when we try to reach out to more institutions, they'll see that he's a part of the team, and that'd be a good sign for them to join us as well. So we're really happy for that. And he has a really big background in cryptocurrency, so using his connections, we can definitely branch out to wider markets and more specifically Asian markets, because his connections to various media outlets. So we're really happy about that.
I think it's worth saying as well at the beginning that one of the reasons that Andy noticed XRdoge, and he talks about that in the interview, is the community. So he very much wanted to be part of a coin and a project that he felt had not just strong founders, but also a strong community. And he's been very much in the background, having a look, seeing what's going on, looking at chats and forums and how the community shields and how the community shares and supports each other. And very much what he said is that it was the community that attracted him to XRdoge, and then also the focus and the vision that the three founders have. So that's a real compliment to everybody who is part of XRdoge. And he talks about the vision of the founders a lot, and he very much supports it. And I know it's sometimes tricky because we know a lot more of what's going on as we're all part of the meetings and we form the strategy. But I think the fact that Andy has seen that and he has an insight into the project and then has chosen to publicly come out as an investor is a real endorsement. And as SG said, it's going to bring a huge amount to the project. And a lot of people's first comments were, well, will it impact on the price? Which is, we know is kind of the go-to question, don't we? But I think what we've always been very clear is that we're a long-term project. It's about long-term gains. And at the moment, a lot of it is influenced by the market. And so our focus is building a firm foundation for when that market changes. And what Andy will do is open up a lot of doors, which is fantastic, and also guide us with his experience. Crypto Advisor 2021 from the Blockchain Awards, huge achievement, absolutely, and it shows again his experience and what he's able to bring to projects. So that's massive, and also an advisor to major corporations and governments. And it is definitely worth the interview's worth a read. It's very in depth. It's very open and honest, which is again what we like on Team XRdoge, and goes into lots of detail again with his links. So lots of people I think have started to follow him on Twitter. Is that right, SG? Have you seen some action on Twitter?
Yeah, he's been growing a lot recently. That big echo there. Yeah, he's been going a lot recently, so that's really nice to see. And talking about the XRP ledger, I think the stats show that the total market cap for the ledger is around 760 million. So just to give it a perspective, that's pretty small. Like given crypto's total market cap is like I think around 2 trillion right now. So we know how big XRP is, and the ledger is still fairly new. So what our goal is, we're here for the long term. So we want to build utility, build connections, and project grow into something amazing in the future.
And what another question people often ask is about when we're going on, new exchanges, all that sort of thing. If you think about we're 3 months old, all that sort of thing takes time, but it's not. That doesn't mean it's not part of the long-term plan and the strategy. And Andy's an ideal person, again, to support with that and to add guidance. I've just put in the chat there a link. Lots of you may have seen Andy's Twitter status from today about how he's one of the leading speakers at the first Korea Blockchain Conference, and that's just to give people an idea of the kind of circles that Andy is in and the connections that he has and how active he is in crypto. And I think that's the key thing. He's a really active member, so he knows about changes, he's up to date, and he has lots of fabulous ideas that we've already discussed. He's very much a supporter of our podcast, which we are going to be launching, and that is going to be on the XRdoge YouTube. It will be there, but also Andy has those connections where we can ensure that it gets views beyond, and that's what we need to be doing. We need to be spreading the word of XRdoge so that people know about us and want to come and join us. So definitely worth a read the interview. We've got a press release going out across Asia and again across the UK and Europe. So look out for us again in places like Yahoo Finance, and that should be released either this evening or early tomorrow. So it's about that marketing, and what's important when we do our marketing and our press releases, that we're not just saying this is XRdoge, we're actually spreading news.
So you're literally going to watch me earn several $1,000s while filming this video. Okay, so just keep this number in mind.
Great.
7.
And
let me just refresh this so you can see I'm not
sharing
around.
That investment that
there you go. Okay, 1.7, 2, 1.7.
And in the project is great. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, SG.
Into the whole crypto space, he has a lot of connections that he has connections that he's connected with this to sound redundant, but
yeah.
And so
yeah,
no, it's he's a really great to have on our team, and it's just kind of like you said, it's 3 months in. It's at first like maybe that institutional kind of sort of investor, somebody that's involved in government panels and just other blockchain spaces. So we're really excited to have somebody like that on our team.
Yeah, absolutely. So there we are. So Anndy Lian, and he is going to do some questions. He's going to be a guest on one of the podcasts, which is great. So we are going to interview him, and that will give you guys as well as the community to get a chance to know a bit more what he's about from him personally, which I think will be really useful. And he'll talk about his background and again his vision for XRdoge, and he has some really ambitious.
So you're literally going to watch me earn several thousand
in general, and how they should be taken more seriously and the potential that they have. But obviously he's got specific ambitions for XRdoge, which are very exciting. And as and when those start to become more finalized, he will be the first that we will share that with. So when we know when he's on the podcast, we will let you know, and we should have some final details about that hopefully Monday. So the podcast is going to be, the idea is for it to be weekly, and it's going to be myself with Alex, and then Emma. So if you read the interview with Andy, the journalist is a lady called Emma. She's a crypto journalist. She's very experienced, and she brings a wealth of knowledge about crypto and her understanding of it. So she's going to be part of that podcast team as well, and also she will have connections. So it's about continuing to spread the word of XRdoge. that's something that we are really excited about. I've just been monitoring as well the chat for the last few days or so, and I see we've got some new people in the chat today, which is great. We've had a few questions about our partnership with Ecology, and I was hoping Alex would just be able to just give a brief overview and a reminder of the strengths that partnership is going to bring to XRdoge. We are in other talks as well, but we're not at the stage yet we can announce that, but we are in talks with more companies and partnerships. Is that okay, Alex?
Footprint of their either building or house, and in real time send XRdoge to offset that. And so we've added Ecology as our first partner for that. So the XRdoge will end up with them, and they have carbon offsetting projects like tree planting and a rotation of 2 different projects every month that are focusing on carbon capture, carbon removal, and helping the planet in various ways.
Thank you, Alex. How will that benefit XRdoge? What would you say?
I would say first off, it's going to bring us to a whole new audience, because they obviously have a good reach with the everyday person who's interested in offsetting their own carbon, who might not know anything about crypto. So they're going to be the first crypto that they come across through Ecology. So it's going to open us up to that. And I'd like to think it shows that we're legitimate with this project. We're not just talk. We've been forming partnerships. We're looking for more and more, and we're actually getting the infrastructure in place for this.
It's a great answer. And that is really important. I think we're trying to broaden our horizon and, as I say, get the name out there, whilst also using XRdoge to give back. So really important. Thank you. So I put in the chat if anyone's got any questions, that please do type, or if anybody wants to go on the mic. We had some great chatting before we started. Nice to hear questions, suggestions. This is absolutely your opportunity. I know not everyone likes to speak, but do feel free to DM me or put them in the chat.
That's a quick. I'm a new investor in XRdoge. I want to ask, what makes XRdoge so good?
I think Stephanie should answer that. Are you there, Stephanie?
What makes XRdoge so good? XRdoge has a payment portal that's on the Xrpl that to me is just fabulous. I have not yet exploited it because I'm not smart enough to. But I'm learning. And there's just the best community. The developers are very interactive with everybody. The companies are very interactive with everybody. And it's got this cute little meme dog. I think of a bunch of things. What about you, Alex? Do you have any answers?
Or anyone else? Why did you choose to invest? Why are you still here? What would you say to a first-time investor like Mr. Raymond there?
Well, one more thing for me is I've learned a lot from you all. Everybody in this community is very giving with knowledge, and they'll help you along the way. If you have questions or you're confused, there's always somebody that can help you find the answer. Even if they don't know it.
Thank you, Stephanie. And for me, I think, it's very much same as what attracted Andy. It's the community, and also the fact that we're showing that a meme coin can be more than that while sticking to the roots. Because there's a great thing, I think, in meme coin. We need a bit more fun and silliness in the world. So it brings that fun factor, but also the utility that makes it stand out. We've got a couple of good questions there in the chat. There's one about the front end of the deck. So obviously the trading group has now changed. It's great. They're just doing some final tweaks. Our devs are very particular. They don't like to put anything out until they're 100% happy. So it should be end of this week, Monday at the latest. We had a meeting yesterday, and there was just a couple of things that we wanted them to add and potentially offer for new listings as well, new coins that get listed. So we just added something, an extra request basically that makes our deck stand out. Somebody put in the chat before that there's talk of other projects releasing their own decks. So what we need to make sure is that why go for ours? What makes ours different and better? So we had a little bit of a redraft and some adding yesterday. Yeah, that's cool. Good question about the advertising. So thanks to those people who sent us video footage and photos. I loved the comments from some people that was Photoshop. Honestly, if you saw my Photoshopping skills, you would know it was not. I nearly had to send my 96-year-old grandma down to get some footage, but thankfully somebody got some for me. It was real, it was there, it was very exciting. We have got plans for another one to go up. It start again, it will be in London. We're just timing it. It's about that strategy as well. So just a few tweaks on the timing, but it will go. And it is expensive, but it's definitely worth it because we've got to spread the XRdoge, the word of XRdoge, without doubt. I think was there another question? So that was the advertising. And again, we're in talks with gaining some advice from Andy of what that might look like. And everyone's got an opinion on advertising, which is great. But we do work with different marketing agencies, and it's about finding something that sticks in people's minds, but also gets people to engage with the advertising, which can be tricky. We've had some really good suggestions from community members, how to use QR codes and all that sort of thing, which always helps. We do take your suggestions. We can't always do them, but we definitely discuss them. So we do thank you. When new listings.
For exchanges, recently.
When new listings.
As of right
SG,
now,
when new listings.
I can't say too much. I'll just leave it at that. Cliffhanger.
We like a cliffhanger. Or when will the XR589 be released to the public? Oh, what about Mr. Iggy? Going to answer that one?
Hey, hello.
Wi-Fi's not down.
Well, sorry, I'm out there, so I might mention not success. I'm looking for you to vote you. But yeah, it's in development. I'm going to have like a bench prototype thing done in the next week or two. I'll film that and I'll put it on there. And then probably we're going to have to develop this professionally, I guess. We'll get a final stuff and we'll done. So, well, not imminent, but not confident. So, and it's good at some point, I would say.
Yeah, we're excited for that.
And again, it's about and making sure it's quality. That's what we need to do.
So we got another question here. As an investor, Andy Lian wants to maximize his investment. Did he invest in the project itself, or is he leading also in which direction we are going? So I'd say here that he has invested in the project itself, and I wouldn't say that he's necessarily leading the direction, but we kind of use him as a consultant for asking questions and connecting us to different people.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's, as I say, it's very exciting, and I know lots of the community have already started following him on Twitter, and retweeting any tweets that he tags XRdoge in is really useful as well, because he's got a wide and broad reach on his Twitter profile. So that's something that everyone in the community can support with. And there's a great comment now. I like that one about everyone can do their little bit to promote the coin, and very much appreciate the community, and lots of active members who do that, and we see all their fabulous artwork and their comments and
their questions about Xrpl. Do we have collab with streamers and using XRdoge and tipping coins to them? Currently we do not, but that's something we're looking at, and we're just kind of talking to people, seeing could be a good fit for us.
Yeah, and I think the good. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Stephanie.
I was gonna say, can't we tip an XRdoge on that tomorrow? Twitter?
I think Xrpl.
Now, SGF got the perfect job for you here. Someone sent me a DM, so I won't mention it was. We've talked about this before, haven't we? Can we maybe get some individuals at the Super Bowl with XRdoge posters off the street? Now, I cannot endorse anything or suggest anything that is not illegal, I should say. But yeah, we have joked about that, haven't we, SG? And I thought we should do it, but it wasn't very good.
Getting dragged off the field and then into a cold. They don't got any s'mores and marshmallows in the cells, so I might have to pass on that.
So you hide your ledger wallet in a personal space.
But posters and things at events, if you're going to, you're going to events, people like to go to protests or whatever you're into. Absolutely, XRdoge great way to go. I have seen a few in the rare news items I look at, not of XRdoge, but I'm actually of XRP, and they usually get quite a lot of good attention. And that's community. The community can do things that I can't advise they'll get in trouble. So you do it your own risk. Make banners and sell them in the store for people to take the big advantage. I like that suggestion. I wanted to make those foam fingers with XRdoge, but Moonboy told me that was just me showing my age. Apparently, people don't use those anymore, but I was quite fun. But there we go. Absolutely, because it would be great for people to be able to do that and support that. Those are the ones I like. The old school gladiator, foam fingers. That's what I wanted. And we laughed at me. Maybe I'll just get one myself. I'm off to an event. I've seen it. I do have an XRdoge dress, which is being made, which is on its way. For when I do my talking about my book, I go to different news places to talk about it. So I've got an XRdoge frock on the way. Any other questions? Let's have a look. And I have actually ordered some car stickers. That's another great suggestion, some car stickers. Because at the moment we give out free pens. With orders from the shop, but we are upgrading to car stickers, to bumper stickers, so people can put those on the back of their car. We might chuck in a few for bigger orders.
So we're getting a lot of questions about Bitcoin. Has gotten merch yet? Do you have any updates on that, Victoria?
We have a tracking, actually. Hold on a second. I have a tracking number for it, so I would actually be able to tell you exactly where the package is, and I should have had that. Apologies, Nick, having that in advance. Let me just have a look. Any other questions, Esh, you could take, and I will get that tracking up now.
Oh, I got another one here. Wouldn't it be a good idea to make Pancake swap out of XRdoge decks? Well, the thing with Pancake and Uniswap is those are built on smart contract platforms, and currently the XRP ledger does not support that. But looking at stuff like Songbird and Flare, looking forward, that's something we would like to get into. Okay. Ripple had one. Do we have BTC XRdoge beats XRdoge? No, we do not, but we can look at it for USD and BTC USD index. And then Phil Jackson. Oh, sorry. Here you go.
So this is not. I have to obviously post it not with the with the address, but I kid you not. So I've just done the tracking. It says your item was delivered. At 10:40 a.m. on Friday, the 10th of February. So that's today. That is today. And I'll put it in the chat. I just have to edit it, so I've obviously not got any, I'm not breaking any data rules. So I will put that in the chat as proof. But according to the tracking system that I am following, the USPS tracker, it was delivered at 10:40 a.m. today. So there we go. Exciting. And I'll have a look, because I think if that was delivered, then we've also had some going to Jeremy Hogan and Charles Gasparino.
What did you
So
send? Like hats, beanies? I mean, what did you?
No, we had a special. Let me show you. It was I think because it's from our good friend Tyler Boone, who makes the most amazing merchandise. There's a link to him on our page. And I will just get his, because some was specially made for